Hello and welcome back to the Mind Over Mike podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. We got another very fun, interesting episode on today. I am sitting down with a friend of mine who is a longtime friend. We started comedy roughly about the same time, and we've both had a very different experience in the world of stand-up comedy. This guy is a very funny friend, very nice, sweet person, and I always love seeing him. But he recently came in to talk about his time as a dealer at a casino. And I'm just going to be honest with you, as someone who has never had any money, I have very little experience with casinos. So to sit down with Michael today and actually get into what it's like on the dealer side and see kind of this whole glitz and glam of a casino from the perspective of someone dealing the cards. Very interesting stuff. I think he gave me some real insight into what that world looks like and also what it's like to interact with these players as they're referred to, throughout his time there. So that's very interesting. We also talk a little about stand-up and our local involvement. We get into a little about his life, and he shares some interesting details about what make him unique. And he's just a sweet guy, man. This is a very fun conversation, very funny guy. So I do want to say thank you to him, and I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Before we jump into the episode, I'm going to plug a couple of quick dates that I have coming up. On the 4th of October, I'm going to be down in Gatlinburg doing a show called Travis Stevenson and Friends. And that is with, you guessed it, Travis Stevenson. I'm one of his friends. So that's on the 4th of October. After that, I have got a show on the 9th of October in Knoxville, Tennessee. That's the Comedy Deception Show. So that's a fun little different kind of show for me. I'm going to be doing that on the 9th. On the 11th, we've got our next Don't Tell Tri-Cities show. And that is back at our absolute all-time favorite venue. We love them so much. I'm so excited to be back with a brand new headliner, first-time features, big show. That's going to be a lot of fun. Tickets are available for it now as well, so grab those while you can. On the 17th of October, I've got a show at Off Leash Social. That is a dog park of all places, and that's also with Travis Stevenson. So come check us out on the 19th, on the 17th. On the 19th, which is a Sunday, I'm going to be down in Knoxville doing a little spot called Alley Rays with my friend Adam Aaron, and I'm happy to get back down there. It's been a while since I've been there, so that's the 19th. On the 24th of October, I'll be at Blue Ridge Comedy Club for a charity event. All the proceeds of that night go directly to the charity. None of the comics are benefiting from this show. We are just doing it to support a local charity. So come out and support that as well. On the 25th, we've got another Don't Tell comedy show, and that one's going to be a very special venue as well. We've got a surprise headliner coming in for it as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun there. That's all the shows for this month. Let's go ahead and jump into the episode with today's guest, my good friend, Mr. Michael Mullen.
That's how it works. Like when I started there, we learned blackjack and carnivals. That's what we learned. And the next game I learned was roulette. And roulette was a 5-week course that you audition for. But you can't just come in and be like, I'm going to be a roulette dealer. They have to know that you can deal on the basics
right
first, because blackjack is monkey dealing. Like you're really you're
so that's
the barrel.
entry level
blackjack,
right.
Yeah. And then craps is it's like the final boss usually.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like craps is the game that has the most involved and the most you have to pay attention to.
Sure.
So,
is there a level, like amongst other dealers, is there a level of like that guy? He knows craps. Like you're like respected for it a little bit.
Yeah, that was my instructor. Yeah,
the
guy who taught us craps is a 40-year vet, I think, in the business, or 30-year vet, somewhere around there. Like he cut his teeth in Vegas in the 90s.
That's awesome.
So
I don't think as someone who's been to that casino and several casinos, I don't think I ever really examined it from like the dealer's side. You know what I mean? Like I just think about being a player.
Yeah.
Because that's what I am. But I mean, that's one of the things when I knew you were coming that I was like, I am so endlessly fascinated because obviously there's the cliches of like, you probably see drunk people, you probably interact with wild characters, you see all this shit, but the actual skill set involved in being a dealer. I mean, I get a headache just thinking about it. Like that's a lot.
Oh yeah. And like I said, the more complicated the game is, of course, the better you have to be at dealing.
Sure.
And that means you have to be good at your basics too, you know, like you can't be sloppy with payouts, or you can't have bad paying skills. Like if you can't figure out the math, you need to figure out a way to get to the correct number without doing the math. You know, there's ways around it, but there's, as a dealer aspect, craps is the ultimate as far as if you can deal craps proficiently, you're doing everything else right. So
that's so funny. And I think a lot of people, I assume, would not know that, you know, even people maybe who gamble or have been in casinos, which I don't think
craps players know it.
They know it.
Craps players know. They can tell when you're a bad dealer.
Oh yeah,
because they're like, it took you 10 minutes to set up my across. What the hell's wrong with you?
And they let you know. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. They will cut you, but they will also support you. You know.
Well, they need you.
Yeah. They need you. They're very nice players, but they will rib you like nobody else.
Sure. Dude, talk to me about I mean, we could go on for hours about the casino thing. So you go to work, you clock in, you go to your game, whatever that is. And is that every day it changes, or like now that you've reached this craps level of a dealer, are you just the craps guy all the time?
No, for me, every day I clock in, I go to my pencil tells me what game I'm going to be dealing. Now here recently, it's always been roulette because I deal roulette, and that's my primary game that I
Is that like maybe intermediate between blackjack and crap? Okay, gotcha.
Like my craps instructors was like, if you're not dealing roulette, it's probably like you should probably be dealing roulette before you deal craps, because a lot of the math and a lot of the things they correlate with each other. You know, like you'll get examples from roulette that apply to craps as far as payouts go. So usually when I go to work, I'm either put on a roulette table or I'm put it on a breaker string where I'm the breaker for roulettes. So, and now that I got craps, I'll be put on it more. I'll be put on it.
Right.
And roulette, I probably won't deal carnival games ever again.
Sure. Well, I mean, I assume you mentioned that it's kind of like a graduation up to the craps level and stuff too. So I assume that's sort of is that something people fight over as far as like on a shift? There's only a certain number of tables in the room. So do people want to be up there more? Is there any incentive to stay down at the blackjack level? I mean, as far as player interactions, does that change based on where you're at? Different?
Oh yeah. Each game has its own players and their own mannerisms.
Right.
And
it's like a different audience.
Yeah.
Each table.
It really is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And there's some people who are absolutely comfortable in just dealing blackjack, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's in fact, it's awesome.
You need those people.
You need those people, and you need those people who want to deal blackjack correctly.
Right.
That love dealing that. They don't want to deal anything else.
Sure.
You know, and then you have people like me. I want to be able to deal everything.
Right.
Because I want to fit in wherever I can be put. So yeah, and it's hard to talk about players in a negative way.
Sure. Because that's your livelihood.
Yeah, that's my livelihood. Right? Yeah.
Right.
You know, you have some awkward players. You know, you have some bad players, of course.
Sure.
On any game. Blackjack being the most basic game, any problems you have with a player there, they're the dumbest problems.
Right. Because it's like, if you can't figure this out.
Yeah.
That's me, dude. I mean, I enjoy the environment. I think because I'm kind of your normal, like cut and dry 9 to 5 average white dude, the excitement of things like a casino does get to me. Like I enjoy the environment. I'm just not a game. I just have never had money, I think is what it is. So it's like, I'm not willing to blow it, you know? Yeah. And there is a certain learning curve that I think I just really haven't invested the time, because up until very recently, it's not something that like geographically was even convenient.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Now it's 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
But it didn't used to be. So, I mean, we spent a little time in Vegas, me and a friend one time, and did like some machines and stuff, but as far as the actual games, I'm pretty much illiterate. You know, I enjoy, again, I like watching it. I'll stand there and watch somebody blow their whole life savings, but I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I don't know. Do you see a lot of, coming at it from that angle of like somebody who doesn't really know the rules, doesn't know the game? Do you get a lot of first time folks that are kind of relying on you, right?
100%. And we will hold their hand
really
to the nth degree. Up until,
because you want them to come back. That's the whole thing.
We want them to come back, but we also want them to enjoy their time there.
Right.
And
right.
I'm not gonna tell somebody something wrong just so they just for the house.
Right.
You know, I want them to get the correct information and base their decisions on that, because I can't make their decisions for you. I cannot bet for the player.
Right.
That is against Virginia gaming law.
Sure.
Like 100%.
Sure. But you can say, have some influence on it.
Yeah. Like if I got a 6 up on a blackjack table and they're holding a 10,
right,
I can be like, hey, that's a double down hand. Like you should double that bet. You know.
Yeah. Also, they don't have to take your advice.
They don't have to take my advice.
Just what you would do.
But I'm telling them like what the book says to do there.
Right.
Because a 6 is a bust card. You know, you got a 10, so you should double your odds against a bust card.
Sure.
You know. And stuff like that. But like you said, they don't have to take my advice.
They don't.
But I'm going to give them the correct information, because I want first timers to come back and see me and be like, that guy helped me last time.
Right.
Let's go to his table. You know.
Oh man. See, there's so many like layers to this dealer thing of like, because you're not you're employed by the house, obviously, but you're kind of like a double agent almost, because it's like you want both sides to do well. You want to keep your job, obviously, but you want your regulars to come back and follow you. I mean, do you have regulars that will spot you on the floor and come find you?
Yeah, especially on roulette. I got regulars that'll find me on roulette.
Hell yeah.
And it's great.
That's a cool feeling.
It is. It's cool, and they'll be like, oh, he was hitting these numbers last time. Let's bet on those numbers and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, he threw some repeaters last time. Let's you got to keep out for that and all that stuff.
That is so exciting.
So, and then you have I have this older lady who she's like a house favorite. Like everybody loves her.
Okay.
She's a widow that never had kids. But her husband had a great job, so she likes to come to the casino.
She's got money, sure.
That's where all her friends are now.
Right.
And she started by learning blackjack, and then she started learning all the carnival games. And she's just an absolute delight to have at the table. If I'm dealing a carnival game or a blackjack and I see her, my whole day is just perfectly fine.
That's amazing.
And I would love her to pieces.
Sure.
So,
yeah. Give me like a ratio you think between like bad gambler interactions and positive ones, because I think every job has a mix, but I mean, do you find it to be mostly excitement and joy? Honestly,
it's mostly positive. The bad players, the ones who get like aggro about losing and stuff, they can kind of suck the energy out of a table though. Sure. You know, if you got a guy that's just dogging you the whole time and he's cussing you out because your 6 made a 21 and he had fucking $200-300 on the line,
right?
You know, he's going to suck the energy out of the table. So it feels like it's worse than it is, but it's only that guy that's doing it. Right. As soon as he leaves, the whole table's like back up and they're happy again.
Right.
So,
that's almost like that one heckler at a bad stand-up show where it's like 100%. As soon as he gets kicked out, it's the best show you've ever had, because everybody else fucking hated that guy. Yeah. No one enjoyed that asshole in the back. You know? Yeah. I mean, I've had a few, even like at our Don't Tell shows, which that's a little different because my brain is transitioning from like, I'm on stage, I want to put this guy down. Yeah. Versus I'm also the producer of the show. I don't want to make this problem bigger, you know, and then I have to deal with it when I come off stage or whatever. But I've had one in particular that this guy just would not shut the fuck up for everybody's set. And I'm maybe like the 4th person on stage. And I put him down pretty hard, pretty sick line by me. Let me tell you. It was, I was proud of that one. Put him down and the audience literally cheered. Like they were like, we fucking hate you. Like, and I think up until that point, he maybe thought that sometimes they think they're helping. They think they're like being a part of the show or whatever. Well, they also think that the audience is on their side. He learned. Yeah. Until they cheered after I said some things about his mother. They cheered, and then he realized I'm a team of one in this situation. So but yeah, I mean, when a person drains the energy like that at your table, is that difficult for you to kind of compartmentalize and go, okay, now it's about these other people and get back to happy?
Well, while they're still at the table, it can be a little hard because now your energy is focused on that instead of everyone else.
Right.
But for the most part, you just out of sight, out of mind. You block all that bullshit.
Sure.
You keep dealing your game.
Sure.
You keep trying to cut up and carry on as much as you can professionally.
Right.
But
just make it fun for everybody else. Yeah. Because they're also dealing with this asshole.
You still have a job to do, and part of our job is a bit performative. Like, they're there.
Right.
Players aren't gamblers. They're players. And they're there to be entertained.
Right.
Gambling is part of the entertainment industry.
Sure.
And part of that entertainment is the dealer.
Right. Do you find, I mean, I would assume I know the answer to this, but I mean, how much crossover is there for you between the stand-up background that you have to that? Like, are you running bits on folks?
I roasted a guy at the roulette table a few days ago. I was explaining to him I was on a $25 roulette table, which means that you have to have $25 on the inside collectively spread out among the numbers.
Okay.
Or $25 on an outside bet. Each individual outside bet costs $25. And I explained that to him. And then he goes, "Can I bet 15 on black?" No.
Right.
No,
it's 25. Right.
You didn't listen to a fucking word I said.
I don't even know how to play, and I understood from this moment.
I hit him with the line. I was like, "You must have been an SOL student." He just died.
Hell yeah.
His buddies were in the back just losing it. So you could roast people.
That's
a bit,
nice.
But you got to know, like,
I would push it. I would be fired. I think if that's part of the culture, I would be fired.
You got to pick and choose your battles. You got to know, like.
Well, some guys don't want to be fucked with too, and you can tell. There's an energy.
You got to be able to read people, for that. And usually you can tell. Like you can tell right away. Like if you got a guy come up slamming money already, like he's already got a sour look on his face. You know that you're not going to be able to cut up and carry on with him as much, but you might be able to soften him up.
Right?
Yeah, just stay away from jabs and be more conversational with him.
Right.
Yeah, but that guy, I could tell he was fun right away. Like it was him and his bros, and they were coming to the casino to have a good time. He had never played roulette before, so I was explaining the rules to him and everything. And you could tell it's like these are fun people already.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, having fun with them is really something that I also think I hadn't really thought about. And I mean, I've interacted with dealers, so I know my personal things, but like when you're there and you're interacting with them, is there ever obviously there's an incentive to have fun with them because they're kicking to you, ultimately they're your livelihood, but is there ever a situation where you are a little more, let's just say, not as personal, a little more professional? Like what's is it a certain type of person? Is it maybe this person through reputation, or like what is it that kind of straightens you up?
Usually it's their personality, and if I don't even want to say if they're a high roller, because some high rollers you can cut up with real well.
Sure. Well, they spend a lot of time.
They spend a lot of time. They spend a lot of money, and these are people who play quite a bit.
Right.
But usually it comes down to their personality. Like it's like, I'm just going to deal cards to them. That's it. Like. Have
you ever had someone say to you like, "Hey, I don't really want to chit chat. Let's just fucking do the thing"?
Never out loud. Like it's one of those things where you can tell they're giving you short answers.
Sure.
They're going through the motions of the game. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. You don't want to have a conversation, but you also don't want to confront me about it.
Sure.
So
they're just kind of there to play, and that's it.
100%. I've had a few of them. They're usually older. Like,
oh, sure. Yeah. That's something I wanted to ask you about too, because several of my coworkers visit the casino very often, and they're a little older, and they have kind of turned me on to these Facebook postings that I see where they are sometimes like bussing in retirement communities, I guess is the PC term for these folks, to the casino. So interacting with those folks, do you find any is that obviously that's different than a Saturday night crowd? But it seems like they're always having a good time.
They're
dude.
having a
They
great
love
time. And here's the thing is you can usually slow down the play a little bit, like, cause they're slower to react to things.
Sure,
So
it's probably good for you as a dealer.
I love it. Like when I was doing a lot of carnival games, I was doing Mississippi Stud a lot, which is a really slow game as it is.
Okay.
And
Mississippi Stud. I don't know that game.
it's
That sounds like a nickname for someone from Mississippi.
I've met Mississippi Stud.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Good looking, handsome guy. Yeah.
But it's they get 2 cards. The players get 2 cards, and then the community gets 3 cards.
Okay.
And they make a 5-card hand out of those cards.
Okay.
So you're not playing against the dealer. You're just making your best hand out of those 5.
Right.
Jacks are better pay. 10s are better. 6 through 10s pushes, and anything below that is a loss.
Okay.
So that's the basic rundown of the game.
Right.
But it's a slower game as it is. So when you have older people playing, they're taking their time. They're just chilling.
Sure.
They're just there to have fun.
Sure.
So the game, there's less pressure on the game. They're there to just enjoy themselves. So like, having older people at your table, it's fun because they slow down.
Right.
They're there to enjoy. They're there they want to be there for a long time.
Right. Well, some of them, especially I assume if they're being bussed there and picked up, they might be there for 8-10 hours. So they're in no rush to fucking blow out in the first hour and then be stuck in the bar area or what. I mean, they want to extend their time, but I don't think I had even thought about like the different rhythms or like the paces of the games and the customers. Do you have any experience in like the high roller? I know it's a separate section.
Oh, the high limit
casino.
room? No, I don't deal in high limit right
now.
Is
Is that another level of graduation to get up to that point? Or?
You have to be rated for it as a dealer.
Okay.
And
so those are like in my head, I'm imagining like a locker room where like the varsity team walks by and you're like, holy shit, that's Johnny. He's the best dealer in the high level. I mean, is there a guy that that's like the dealer? Is that a thing or a gal?
As far as high limit blackjack goes, we got a few, and you can tell that they're in there for a reason. Like they've earned it or deserved it.
Sure.
Unfortunately for them, because sometimes it can be really slow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned kind of at the start too that there's guys who have like a whole career around just being a dealer. I mean, I would imagine after 30, 40 years, you've kind of found your lane, and that probably is something like a high limit route where you're kind of like a veteran of the game.
Oh, yeah. Like my craps instructor specifically requests to deal craps. Because that's what he's good. He's good. He's great at everything he's touched as far as casino goes, but that's his lane.
Sure.
He is the best.
That's awesome.
Like
he's your Mr. Miyagi.
It really is.
He's the craps Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. 100%.
Roll on, roll off. That's what. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
No. There's no one better on this side of the country, probably, as far as craps goes.
That's amazing.
So, and
that's almost like its own little world, like being a dealer. I don't think I ever, I think as someone who lived here when they announced the casino, and I have, maybe I shouldn't say it on camera. I'll tell you after. I may have even told you before. I have a very personal window into the casino in the early stages before it was being built. Maybe I'll just say I had an ex-girlfriend in high school.
Yeah.
Her dad is, let's just say, heavily involved. With bringing the casino to where it currently is.
He's probably one of the investors. We'll leave it at that.
He was very involved. Great dude, loved him to death. But so he, at the time when I was dating his daughter, he was back and forth between the state capitol and home lobbying to help get the bill passed to bring the casino. I mean, it's a whole long thing.
He was ground zero for the whole thing.
This is 2018 probably. So this is years before it's done. Right.
Okay.
So, but at dinner, I would sometimes receive updates on how that process was going. And as someone who grew up here, I remember saying, or maybe not saying, because I was probably scared as shit to say anything, but thinking in my head, like, that's never going to fucking happen, dude. They're never going to put a casino here. And they did. I was wrong. They did. Yeah. He did it. He pulled it off, and they brought it. But so, I mean, my own personal glimpse has kind of given me this weird thing where I think of casino employees. You think the bartenders, the waitresses, all these different things, the dealers. You just kind of lump that in. I feel like you guys are doing a whole different fucking thing. Not that it doesn't take a certain skill set to be a bartender. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you enjoy not only that learning curve, but the different task every day?
Oh, 100%.
That's great.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like, here's the thing: is the last job I worked was a sawmill.
Right.
I cut wood to make bourbon barrels.
I forgot about that part of your life.
That job is a nightmare. Okay,
That's so different.
oh my god. Listen, first off, if you're working a blue collar manual labor job and you're good at it, fucking kudos to you.
Shout out to you.
You are breaking your back.
Yeah, we need you.
And yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah, as a country, we need you.
100%.
I'm not going to do it, but I'm glad someone is.
100%.
Yeah.
I tried to do it for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was dog shit at it.
Sure.
And so when I went to the casino, I'm like, this is
Right.
where I'm supposed to be all
Right.
along. You know, like I figured it out. I found my lane being at the casino because I love learning new games.
Mm-hmm.
I love interacting with people. I love being able to have fun while I work.
Right.
You know, and that was the thing because there's a lot of jobs where you can't have a lot of fun. There's no room for it.
Yeah.
Either the job's too professional or there's nothing fun about it because it just sucks your soul.
Yeah.
You know.
Or even, I mean, I'll comment on that just from my own perspective. Is I have a very good job by all metrics. You know, on paper, it's a great job. It's 8 to 5. It's in a cubicle. It's all convenient. All the shit's good pay. It's afforded me a very good life. But it is that corporate environment. It is that over the wall cubicle conversation. And I mean, we do have fun and we fuck around, but it's very minimal. And even when it is, it's almost like not in secret, but you know what I mean. Like you kind of feel like we shouldn't be standing here telling jokes at the water cooler, like that classic cliche thing. So there is ways to find fun, but I mean, something like the casino, not only the characters that it brings to the table as far as the gamblers, but the cast of characters that are the dealers. I'm sure. I mean, I bet they are like comics kind of where it's like misfit toys.
Dude, some of these guys and girls could do a killer 10 tomorrow.
Sure.
And don't even know it.
I bet.
The only thing that would stop some of them would be stage fright.
Right.
You know,
right.
That's the only thing stopping them. That's
which is hilarious because they're kind of at a little mini stage all the time.
They're performing every fucking day.
All the time.
You know, I've told a few dealers, if you were to go to the club and just do 5,
right,
you would kill.
Yeah.
If you just did what you do on the table.
Sure.
You know.
And I'm wondering too, like I know even at customer service jobs I've had in the past, you kind of pick up little isms where it's like anytime somebody comments on a certain product or a certain item, you kind of have a response canned that you always say. And I'm sure being a dealer, there's 1,000 canned responses too, which is exactly what stand-up is, like storing these little bits of entertainment in
100%.
your brain.
Yeah. So I've told a bunch of them just come do comedy.
Have you had any actually try, or are they all?
No, but my craps teacher did come to a show of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
When we did the 4-year anniversary of the club, I was on the Late Show Saturday or Friday.
Yeah,
it's Friday. I was on the Late Show Friday, and he came. I told him the wrong time, so he was there for both shows.
Whoops. That's awesome, though, that he hung out.
Dude, him and his son came. They had a fucking ball.
That's cool.
And because he was like, I want to come see you do comedy. And I think him and a few others have actually seen me do comedy.
That's cool.
And they're like, dude, this is awesome.
I kind of think of it, too, as like, have you ever interacted with a lot of like chefs? Chefs and stand-ups have this weird like kindred spirit. Musicians, too. I mean, there's a couple parallels. But chefs, like, I think it's partially just the unorthodox occupation. It's the hours. It's the lifestyle. You know, I think we share a lot in common. And do you think dealers would fall into that same category?
Oh, easily, yeah.
Are they all just fucking messes of human beings?
100%.
Because chefs are nightmares of a human being.
We constantly live in chaos.
Sure.
So just like musicians or chefs, we know. We know what we're doing at work, you know.
It's like where the underbelly goes to work.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. In the best way possible.
Right.
You know, everybody there has some tisms that, you know, make them good at their job.
Love
you
it.
know, so.
Are there guys that are just like fucking savants with like counting cards and, you know, the mental math and stuff?
We have a boss. I won't say his name because.
Sure. Yeah.
He's been in the industry for 30 plus years too. He knows how to track card counters. He knows all the stats for anything, any probability. He can figure it out. This guy is brilliant. You know, so yeah, you do have some savants in it. We got another boss who taught himself craps and roulette.
Wow.
On his own.
Like the thing you're needing an instructor for.
The thing that I spent 8 weeks with an instructor. 8 weeks?
That's a long period.
8 weeks. I spent a goddamn semester.
Literally. Yeah. You went to crap school this fall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome.
This guy learned it himself and taught himself that and roulette. And the guy's brilliant.
Right.
You know, and rightfully so, you know.
That's awesome.
He's earned every bit that he gets for that. So.
Well, I think coming from, again, a place of pretty much total ignorance into the gambling world, I think a lot of people see, or maybe just hear the term counting cards, card counting, and you see it in movies. You know, I mean, there's a scene in The Hangover where it's a meme now of Alan, and he's got all these numbers in his head. You know what I mean? That's what I think of when I think of counting cards. But I mean, is that something that's common that they see somebody doing that? Is that maybe just one of the many ways that somebody may try to cheat the house? Like, what's the deal there?
I'm not really versed on counting cards. That is,
I don't even really know what it means, honestly. I just know the phrase.
Basically, you're God, how do I explain it?
Is it kind of like you're predicting the next cards based off what's already on the table? Like, you know how many's in a deck.
Okay, you're exactly right.
52,
yeah,
right?
You know how many faces there are.
Right.
You know how many aces there are. Right. And you're keeping track of how many of those have already been played.
Right.
Versus how many of the other cards have been played. Because you're only keeping track of the aces and faces. So
it's like most people are aware of those numbers, I think, in a stack of cards. Like, I'm aware of how many faces, how many of certain suits and stuff. Yeah. But the mental speed it would take to really do that.
That, and we like most places, we use 6 deck shoes. So I mean, there's 6 decks in a shoe.
Right.
That's pretty much industry standard.
And that really throws a wrench in
it can.
Counting cards.
Yeah, because card counting is usually like 1 or 2 decks.
Right.
You know, you can work on 1 or 2 decks, but once you get past 2 decks, the numbers get too big.
Right. Well, those combinations too. I mean, you think of 52 cards. It's easy to think on predictability of cards. Even, let's just say, a second deck. It's not necessarily double the predictability range. It's exponential because you're, different combinations of different
you have
numbers.
like 52 to 52. 52 to the 51st power is your amount of combinations.
So many.
Or it's 51 to the 50th, something like that.
Right.
It is your combinations for a single deck.
Right.
And then that goes up.
It's almost like, I think, maybe I'll try to simplify it because I'm an idiot, so I assume that others who listen to this would have to be. So when you have like a 4 lock or a 4 number combination lock, it's not just 4 possibilities because they rotate, because there's so many. It's exponential combinations.
You have to look at how many numbers are on it. Is it just 1 through 4 with 4 spots?
Right.
Then you have like
1 through 0, 1 through 9, and 0.
Yeah. It's an exponential growth.
Right.
Like it's an exponent number.
Yes.
That
would be. I mean, shout out to anybody who has the ability to count cards in that way or do that. But I mean, I assume that things like the 6 shoe deck, and I'm sure there's all kinds of security features and stuff that you're not allowed to go into, but there are prevention methods there involved.
Oh yeah.
As far as cheating goes.
Yeah. You have to have somebody that can spot it.
Right.
And
are there guys, I mean, maybe you haven't interacted with them at work necessarily, but is there talk of like, are there guys who just travel the country just cleaning fucking house at casino to casino?
There are guys who try to travel across country cleaning a house. Usually they get banned and blacklisted from casinos.
Right.
So
there's a list somewhere that if you're on it, you can't even walk in the front door.
Depending on what casino it is.
Right.
Yeah. All of Vegas talks to each other. Like if you're banned at like the MGM,
right?
Chances are they've already got your name at the win.
Sure.
You know,
I think, didn't that happen to Dana at some point, the president of the UFC? He's like banned from certain casinos. And
I'm not sure.
He's a big time gambler and he's banned from certain casinos. And whenever he gets banned from a casino, he just pulls the UFC from the casino that he got.
Oh yeah.
He just won't let them show, which hurts them.
Yeah.
He basically like one-ups them by being like, fine, I can't gamble there. Then you can't fucking play the UFC there, which is brutal.
Listen, that is brilliant right there. Yeah. He's like, I will take my toys and go home.
100%.
And
you don't want to play?
Yeah.
We won't play.
You know,
he is notorious for, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers. I've heard him and others comment on some of the hands that he has played, like $1 million hands where he's just fucking off with money. He's got that level of money.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea, like maybe rough estimate in the high limit area of your casino? Is there any like big bets like that? You know what I mean? Is there $1 million hands being played or anything?
No, not $1 million hands.
That's crazy.
No. I can't remember what the table limit is in high limit because I don't deal in.
Oh, they have an upper limit.
Yeah, they have an upward limit unless you reserve the table and specify with your host. Like you can, but then you got to have a lot of money to do that. Like it's not just, hey, I want to reserve a table and set the limit to $20,000. No, we need to know.
Right.
Like you're going to have an account with us.
You're good for it.
You're gonna there's gonna be stuff happen in the background that's gonna make that happen.
Right.
You know, and your money's gonna be part of it.
Right. But I mean, they do accommodate for folks like that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we would accommodate for it.
Sure.
For sure. Yeah, you would reserve your own table.
The hospitality aspect, kind of.
Well, you have a gaming host that would take care of that for you.
Okay.
Well, your host would help take care of all that for you.
Right.
But to have a host, you already have to be spending a lot of money as it is.
Sure. Yeah, I'll never meet a host.
No. The only time I meet a host is when we're on break.
Right. Oh my God, breaks must be insane. Are you ever like on break and you're smoking next to a guy and he's like, I just watched a guy blow his life savings. Like, I just watched a guy ruin his marriage.
I have watched a few of those happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Don't get yourself in trouble, but please, God, get yourself in trouble. Tell me about it.
I was dealing on a game and we have a high roller and he bet the table max on the game, which was 2,000 a hand. Jesus Christ. And he was playing 3 hands. So he lost $6,000 in one hand. Wow. And then I went on break. Like I racked his money.
I think I might know this guy. I think he might be a former guest of this podcast. Actually, I've got a former guest that spends a lot of time out there. Yeah.
I racked his money and went on break. Because my breaker was there to tap me off.
Yeah, you're like, why don't you take 5, big guy?
Yeah, I've watched people lose like sickening levels of money.
That's $6,000 in seconds.
Oh yeah,
seconds.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I was dealing a full table, which is 6 spots. The hand shouldn't take more than 2 minutes.
Right.
You know,
and $6,000 just gone.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the difference between that and me. When I go to the casino. When I go to the casino, I always wind up bitching that it costs me $6 to use the ATM. That's the level of money I'm bringing to a casino where I'm going, that's more than I'm even going to bet. Yeah. Like $6 Who's got this kind of money? Yeah.
We have players like you and they're just as important.
Penny slots is my game, dude. Listen, I'll have a good time.
If you love the penny slots, fucking play those penny slots.
I like smoking indoors. That's what I like. That's really the only reason I go to the casino.
That's the most wild thing. I brought my brothers in there one day to eat because I'm not allowed to play there.
Okay.
If you work there, you're not allowed to gamble there.
Right.
I brought my brothers in, and one of my brothers still smokes. And he was like, wait a minute, I can smoke in here? I'm like, yeah, you can smoke in here. He's like, I didn't even bring in a lighter. So I go to one of the pits. I go to the Bach room.
Yeah.
My buddy is in their floor, and I'm like, hey, give me a book of matches. He throws me a book of matches. Like, here you go, smoke up, because this is the only place where you could smoke indoors.
I love it.
And carry your beer around, because he still had a beer
right
from the restaurant. And he's like, I can just walk around with this. I'm like, what else are you going to do with it? You know?
I do love it. And I had a work function out there recently, because I'm in the marketing department for my work. And we had like a big charity function with all kinds of local organizations. And we were one of the contributors. So we go and it's in the casino and it's in the big venue space or whatever. And my CEO was with us. And as soon as we sat down at this round table, like 10 of us, she looks right at me and points at me and then circles everybody. And she goes, "No gambling while we're here." And I was like, "Why the fuck would you point at me?" And she was like, "I know what you're thinking. No gambling." Because we all drove separate and all this shit. Yeah. So I just, to fuck with her, I was like, I mean, you guys just got here. I've been here for an hour. Yeah. I've already been out there. And then I was like, I said, I think I may have to take a really long restroom break right in the middle of this. And she was like, "If you're gone too long, I'll know what you're doing." And I said, "Yeah, but if I come back, I lost." That's the difference. That's the difference, dude. It is like, I'm not even a gambler, but just being around it, there is this weird like little itch that you're like,
well, it's there's an electricity in those places.
They're brilliant with the layout, the lighting. Talk to me about that a little bit from your perspective. Like, what all really goes into that? Almost like brainwashing a little bit.
Like you mean the layout of the building and how everything moves?
Everything, right? Like, isn't everything very articulate? And I mean, it's all like placed in a certain way to funnel you in certain directions and stuff.
100%.
Yeah. The bathrooms are all the way in the back, that kind of shit.
The bathrooms are away from the tables, so you got to walk a little bit to get to the bathroom. Sure. But they're on both sides of the pit. So.
Right. Well, I also, prior to our local one, the only casinos I'd been in was in Vegas for the first time.
Oh yeah.
So that was like my only point of reference, and the one that we stayed in Vegas is called the Stratosphere.
Oh yeah,
great casino. It was really clean. It was nice, but it was all the way on the end of the strip, which we did not know at the time. But we were staying there, so when we walked in, the first thing I remember noticing is like, oh, the elevators to the actual hotel are in the deep fucking back. Like 100%. You gotta walk through every game.
You gotta walk through that whole pit.
They got
and
us.
I guarantee you, when you walk in, there's high limit slots and maybe a pit of table games.
Oh yeah.
Blackjack dealers, roulette, craps.
Excitement.
They want you right there.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to where you're checking in for your hotel or getting to your hotel room, you've either hit a slot machine
100%.
Or a table or something.
Oh, it got me, dude. Yeah, we were standing in line to check in. And it was quite a long line because it was maybe like a Friday afternoon or something. And the reservation was under my friend Jordan's name. So I just looked at him and I was like, "Our room's under you, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, see ya." And I just got out of line. I just went and blew a bunch of money. And he came and found me and was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I didn't have to stand there.
Yeah.
You're checking in.
Yeah, that's your job, buddy." Yeah.
Even like since the local one's open, I've been out there with some family and stuff. And, just to eat, sometimes they just want to do something new. So we've gone to eat a few times. And even like trying to get to a restaurant, it's very intentional the way that you funnel through, or live events, and as soon as that's over, you walk out into this picturesque view of a casino that kind of like draws you in.
Yeah. It's all the flashing lights, all the noise, all the music.
Are you just completely numb to it all at this point?
Yeah. Well, you got to remember that I do noise music.
Oh, right.
So for me, I'm just hearing background.
Sure.
Because, well, as a dealer, you have to do that because you have to focus on what the players are doing.
Is that difficult at first, especially like when you're first training?
You can get like sensory
overstimulated.
Yeah, and you'll be focusing on the wrong things.
Right.
It happens.
I mean, if something like, even in my job, if I, in the past I've been a teller at a credit union, so it's like if I'm trying to count and the guy at the stall next to me or the window next to me is like, "Yeah, I need 4 10s, 5 20s, and 5 3s," I start 24 3. Fuck, like it would get to me every time. Which I have a kind of a numbers issue, anyways. But I mean, when you're working at a table and an eruption of chaos breaks out, somebody hit a jackpot or there's a fight or whatever, does that still get to you, or you've learned?
I've learned.
Yeah,
I've learned. Well, first off, the first thing they teach us is you do not look off your game. That is game protection 101. The first thing you do not do is this.
Right.
Because the second you're not looking at your rack, that rack is unprotected.
100%.
So
they're swiping chips.
Oh, yeah. If they're stupid, they're swiping chips.
Right.
Because,
I'm sure it's happening.
Because we have more cameras than any place.
Yeah, it's Fort Knox in that.
Oh, fuck yeah. You get caught swiping chips once and you'll never come back again.
Right. Right.
But at the same time, I shouldn't have been turned away. Right. So I'm definitely getting
You're
fired.
Not coming back either.
I'm not coming back either. I might be able to come back as a player in 6 months. But.
Sure. Well, let me ask you this. So you mentioned not being able to play at the casino you're employed at, which I totally understand. If you were to take your learned skill set and learned habits as a dealer and go to another casino, do you think that actually increases your odds at all?
No.
Or is it like it's a different house, it's a whole other ballgame?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know why? You know how I know? Because we have dealers from other casinos come in, lose their ass.
Sure. And they're like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be a whiz at this.
No, well, here's the thing is they know how the games work.
Right.
So
I feel like that would have to be some advantage compared to someone like me who I don't even know how to play the game of craps. At least you know the rules. But there's also other players that aren't dealers who know the rules, and you're kind of on par with them. So you're probably more advantage than me.
Yeah, well, for something like craps, you know, like how to invest your bets properly,
right?
You know, and what's a sucker bet, you know, or if you want to be loose with money, play those sucker bets. Right. Please play them because
helps you, right?
Well, not really only that, but if they hit, that excitement that you get off it hitting, that can fuel a whole table.
Sure.
You know?
Right, because I mean your energy level is just as important, if not maybe more than as a dealer than the other players. So I mean,
if you come in just like
right,
you're killing a table.
It sucks you
that
down.
That table is going to hate your guts.
Yeah.
Every loss is going to feel worse to them because you're just blasé about it.
Do you see a lot of shit talk between players at a table, like strangers, not people who came together? But I mean, I bet that gets aggressive.
Oh my God, I've watched a few that I legitimately thought was going to come to blows.
Right. You're like, mom and dad are fighting. I don't know what to do.
Like absolute strangers bucking up on each other. Wow. And here's the thing is you get in a physical fight, like a physical fist fight in there, you're never coming back.
Gone.
You're gone for good.
Yeah.
You know, not only did you catch an assault charge,
right?
You know, because everything's videotaped. Everything's on camera. You're banned for life from that property. You know, because we don't need that. No place needs it. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
But
any business.
But that place specifically.
Yeah.
You're not going to be fighting in there.
Well, people are so hypersensitive about their money too that I'm sure that raises tensions.
Oh yeah. Your hackles are already up if you're if you're stressed about the money you're playing. You probably shouldn't be betting that money.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. You should never be that stressed about the money you're playing with.
Right.
You know,
you should
know that you didn't come in here to win. You came in here to gamble.
Right.
You know.
Right. Is there ever a situation where maybe there's like a real addictive nature that you're spotting in a player and as a dealer, you can't discourage them, obviously.
I can't do anything.
But I mean, does that take a mental toll on you ever? Like, let's say you're driving home and you're like, fuck, that guy blew it. He blew his rent and I've seen him every week, you know. That I could see that taking a toll.
It does, but at the same time, I also have to understand that they've made those choices.
Right. It's not on you.
Based on the fact that they might have a real sickness, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something that they have to deal with.
Right. And there's some level of, I'll say maybe vulnerability or like education coming from the casino too, right? I mean, obviously we all hear the ads on the DraftKings ads where it's like, if you have a gambling problem, but they're not necessarily preying on those people. No. At the end of the day, it's like those people are walking in the door.
Yeah.
They're making the choice.
Yeah. No one's like pulling them by the hand saying, come in here and gamble, you know?
Right.
All casinos have it. I know ours does. I'm pretty sure every place has it. I don't want to speak for every place, but they most likely do.
Yeah.
We have what's called a VEP, which is a voluntary exclusion program, where you voluntarily sign up to not be allowed in the casino.
Wow.
You have to do it yourself.
There's 0 fucking signatures on that list.
There's a lot.
Really? Yeah. Guys that go, I can't make this choice for myself, so I need you to bar me.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And
now that's wild.
It starts at 2 years.
Can a wife sign that for her? Can she come in and go, don't let this motherfucker lose our house? Can she do that?
Sadly not.
Yeah.
Sadly
that
not.
Should be.
It has to be. It has to be the player themselves. I have a friend who signed one.
Really?
Yeah, because I saw him in public. I'm like, "Where you been?" And he's like, "I signed a VEP." And I'm like, "Okay, good for you that you saw it as an issue."
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
So because anytime someone signs one, I'm always happy for them because they realize the problem,
right?
And they're being proactive towards the problem,
right?
You know?
Even though, I mean, I guess that's probably a small fraction of your players as well, right? That have a real sickness to it.
Yeah.
Like we, that time I was staying in Vegas, because the elevators to the hotel were kind of in the back, we had to cross through some machines to get there. And I remember when we checked in on like a Friday or something, we walk past the machines back to the elevators, and there was a small Asian man at one of the machines just as we're passing by, and he's, chain smoking, looks like there's cigarette butts just spilling out of this ashtray, and they come by and swap it and shit.
Yeah.
He's there when we check in. Next morning we go down to go out on the town. He's still fucking same chair.
Yep.
Come back. That motherfucker was there all weekend.
Yeah.
And that I remember really blew me away.
Those players bug everybody
really
on like a mental level, because that they're not healthy.
No.
But you also know that we can't do anything to stop him.
Right. Are those types of players more machine play? Like, are they interacting with dealers as much, or this particular guy was in a chair at a machine?
You see a lot of that with machine players.
Right.
Yeah.
There is something like that. Crank the on. It's almost like a self.
It's like
sickness.
It's like a rat at the feeder kind of thing. It's like a feeder button.
Right. And it never runs out of food.
It doesn't.
Never runs out.
Until you run out of food.
Right. Because even if you're at a table with other folks, I mean, the dealer obviously can't discourage you, but I'm sure you could get a sense from the dealer and the other players at the table when it's time for you to pack it up and go. There's an energy shift for sure.
Well, yeah.
It starts to get sad. Man.
Yeah. And you're right. We can't say anything. We can't dissuade them.
No.
And but we don't. I haven't seen players that have been at a table that long. I've seen people who've been gambling at various tables for 16, 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck me. 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you go to work, you go home, you live your whole life outside of work. You have dinner, you see your wife, you clock in the next day, and they're still there.
Still there. Yeah.
Oh,
I've seen it.
Brother.
And it's a nature of the beast, you know.
Right.
They're chasing.
Well, I'm sure I've never bartended, but I'm sure there's some equivalent there where it's like, he's always down there on the end in that stool.
Yeah, that's the barfly.
Yes, I keep giving him beer, but he keeps asking for it and buying it, you know? And so it's like, it would be very difficult to allow that to impact your own consciousness. You know what I mean? You have
to separate it.
Absolutely.
You have to realize
you're just at work.
Yeah. All I am doing, I told a player this once. They were complaining about cards. I'm like, listen, I'm just the proctor of probability here.
Right.
That's it. I do.
You're not drawing these cards and handing them to them.
No. And furthermore, I want you to win more.
Of course, because that's better for you.
It's better for me because you win more. Maybe you tip more.
Now, is that pretty universal that if someone is doing better, they're a little more generous to the dealer, or is there a type of character that the better they're doing, they're like, this is all for me?
We have both. Yeah. Like you have players that like, hey, if I'm doing good, you're doing good. Right. And then you got those ones that are like, I'm trying to take you for every dime I can, Because
they see you as the opposition. You're the house.
I'm the house.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not really. You're you're double agent.
I'm really just employed by the house.
Right.
To facilitate your fun, your entertainment.
Right. You're a mediator.
Yeah. All I'm doing is the task at hand to determine whether you win or lose.
Sure.
For me personally, I want you to win every hand, but I know that's not possible.
Is that pretty universal among dealers as well, or are there dealers who kind of see it as their right to, or maybe not their right, but their duty to help the house?
No.
I wouldn't think so either.
No, because if you have a table full of people who have been losing and losing hard, it's a miserable table.
Right. And it's not helping you personally.
It's not helping us, because they're players who are losing aren't going to be tipping. You know? And you got players that don't tip. It happens. You know? Either they're like, this is all for me, or they don't know that this is a tipping industry, because I've noticed a lot of like newer players that have never been in casinos. They don't understand the idea that you need a tip.
Right.
Or that you should tip. Not that you need to, that you should.
Right.
Do
you have, and you don't have to give me a specific number, but has there ever been a situation where you get a tip from a player that is just so far above average? Because I'm sure with any job, there's a pretty expected amount that you'll get for a day or so. But has there ever been one that slides you something or flicks you some chip and you're like, fuck, really? Like, I mean, I would not be able to play cool in that moment. I'd be like, you just fed my kids for a month. Like, this is crazy.
Well, we have shared tip there.
Okay.
But I have had where a player hit a jackpot on a carnival game, and their tip was very generous.
Right.
Like they're also a player that's very generous to us already.
Okay. So it's more of a characteristic of that player.
Yeah, and I have a player that on roulette who bets the splits for us. So he's betting a nickel, a $5 chip on a split between two numbers.
Okay.
That pays 17 $5 chips.
Okay.
So when we hit his number, us as dealers gets $180 in tip.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome.
That's
I
awesome.
love that guy.
Every day.
That guy. Listen, I want that guy to win every day.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I guess that makes sense why the dealer never really would be kind of, I mean, obviously it's your job, but you're not necessarily rooting for the house because it's like in this. Now, the shared tip thing's interesting too. Is that among every dealer in the building, it all goes into one pot and gets divided up by hours, or is that okay?
Yeah, it gets divided by the hours you worked and they do all that.
Are there casinos that do not operate that way?
Yeah,
and is
a lot
personal tips straight to you?
Is take your own.
I think I would like that unless I turned out to be a shitty dealer, because then it's like, fuck, I can't even make ends meet.
Well, you also have the fact that you have slow parts of the day.
Right.
What if you're a dealer and you're dealing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 6 a to 4 p?
Sure.
You know, not a lot of players.
That's rough.
Not a lot of tipping to go around.
You want the weekend shift.
You're going to want those
Late
weekends.
nights.
You want to start your shift at 7 p.m. and go as long as you can.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
On the weekends, if you're at a place like that,
yeah.
and you want to be really good at your job.
Right. Now, do you have a set shift where it's like, I get here at this time, I clock out right at this time, or can you, or is that flexible as a dealer?
You can sign in. You can sign up to stay over.
Okay.
Like you can sign up to stay over, or if things go wild, you might be staying over. You know, the more games you have, the more of the chance of you having to stay over.
Right. I mean, if you're cooking, if you're really interacting with folks,
it's not even that. If people have called out or something, and you have a game that no one else has, you're going to be on it for a while. You know?
Right.
So I mean, there is a set time to clock in and a set time to clock out,
right?
And that can always fluctuate.
Yeah.
You know, it's never set in stone.
Right.
So,
right. Well, let me ask you too, because I think when thinking of sitting down with you and talking about this stuff, one of the things that I personally am super ignorant to, and I think a lot of people maybe would be interested to know, kind of walk me through the levels of like employees on the floor. Because as somebody who's, again, super ignorant to the process, when I know there's the dealer, obviously, but sometimes in an area there may be the dealer, then there's a guy in this color suit jacket, and there's this lady with the black shirt and that lady with the blue shirt, and this, I mean, there's different levels to it, right? So like I know, and I just know terms, like I know pit boss is something. Like walk me through, I'm an idiot here.
So we have the dealer, you got a floor, you have a floor lead, your pencil, and your pit boss. I think that's all the levels.
Okay.
Your floors and floor leads and pit bosses, they're all going to be in suits.
Okay.
You know,
and they're there to just kind of oversee the dealers.
The floors are there to oversee the dealers. You'll see them. They're walking in the pits. Sure. They're usually dressed up, like you said, in a suit or something.
Were those folks at one time dealers and they've graduated up to that level?
Usually they're still dealers, but they're flooring that day.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, so you have floors, and your pencil, that's the person who's creating the roadmap of where everybody's going to go for the day.
Okay.
Like when people come in, they're the ones that figure out where we need dealers.
Right.
Who's leaving, who's coming in, yada, yada, yada. Pit bosses oversee everything, and then you have you have someone over them. I can't remember all the levels because all I do is deal. I don't floor.
You're not interacting with beyond that.
I'm interacting with my pit boss and my floors.
Okay.
And like floor leads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But above that is the upper management of like the gaming side. So
there's 100,000 levels to that. I mean, I even like from some of the like that charity event that I've been to, you know, one of the tables in that event space was the executives of the casino. So like I know the CEO. I met her several times and different people.
Yeah, she's lovely.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's really sweet.
Yeah.
But just the different levels and stuff was interesting to me because I think a lot of people who have been to a casino may see, again, different colored suit jackets and wonder like, what is that guy doing? What's he doing? What are they doing? And obviously there's security everywhere.
Yeah, those are the blue jackets. Yeah.
Right.
That's security.
Right.
And they I don't know if there's different levels to I think
there's so many like back end jobs too. Like I have 2 former coworkers. One works in I think the security side of things, and the other one is in accounting. Okay. So or maybe it's accounting and some other thing. But I mean, just like any business, there's all these like back end jobs too.
100%.
And the employment that brought to this area is kind of crazy. It's hundreds.
The amount of employees that you will never see that work in that building is astronomical.
Right.
You know,
I bet people all the time are like, "Oh, I also work at the casino." You're like, "Well, beats the fuck out of me."
Yeah. I have actually ran into people who also work at the casino that I have never in my life seen ever.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's hilarious, dude. Yeah. So I mean, when you are doing these shifts and you go home, do you find it to be a very physically demanding job? Is it a very mentally demanding job?
Mentally.
Sure.
You know,
you just kind of want to veg out a little bit, I bet.
Yeah. Usually I'm just playing video games afterward.
Well, I mean, that's mental stimulation too, honestly.
I play fucking Balatro.
Okay.
So I don't, which is a card game, nonetheless.
You're like, I could go home and play the shit out of some solitaire.
It's a poker game. So
do you see cards in your sleep? I mean, are you just
listen? I've had dreams
chips
about
and cards. All the time.
I've had dreams about the roulette table.
Oh yeah,
like super stressful days carry over into your sleep.
Yeah. Do you get like anxiety dreams about craps now that you're learning that too, where you screw shit up?
Yeah.
Like Oh god.
Yeah.
Almost every job I've ever had. Like I remember when I became a teller, I like the outages of being a teller are very intense, which my employer is pretty good about that. There's not just because there's a great boss at my location, so that, you know, she doesn't really make you want to die if you're out in one direction. She's like, we'll find it. You always find it. But the stress of it, especially as someone like me who really struggles with numbers already, was I mean, I was not sleeping a lot when I started as a teller. Just that, because again, people take their money very serious.
100%.
And it can be difficult. I mean, I'm sure you're losing, but maybe now how long have you been a dealer?
Since January.
Okay. So about 8-9 months at this point. And are you at that point now where you're not really losing sleep over it? It's just kind of work.
Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is my first real job, when I was a kid, was working at a grocery store. And
bagger.
Yeah. So I was a bagger for like 3 days, and then they moved me to cashier.
Whoa! Quick promotion. Look at you.
Yeah.
You must have been the world's greatest bagger.
Either I was the world's greatest or I was the world's worst, and I failed upward.
They're like, get this guy away from the
Listen, this asshole's broke every egg I've ever got from him.
Give this guy a keyboard instead. Yeah.
Put him on the goddamn touch screen.
Yeah, for real.
If he touches my papayas again, I'm gonna stab him.
Yeah.
No,
he keeps putting meat with milk, and it's pissing us off. Get him out of here.
How do I got cold cuts and blueberries in the same fucking bag?
Dude, I've had a couple baggers like that. When I get home and I toss my bags up on the stove, I open them and go, why the fuck is the rice with the dish soap? Like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. But I remember the first week I worked there, I had dreams about like the conveyor belt and like soup cans and bagging. And it was just the stress of like, this is my first like.
Well, at that time, that was your biggest fish to fry. It was like the most anxiety you've ever had.
Because the only job I had before that was like, I was a roadie for a cover band when I was a teenager.
Right.
And I worked for Liberty Tax as Uncle Sam as a waiver.
No shit.
Yeah. I did
you were out there at the road?
Yeah, I did that for a while too.
That rules.
Me and my friend Sarah both did it. She was Lady Liberty and I was Uncle Sam.
That rules.
So we would have boxing matches on the sidewalk.
That's amazing. Somewhere on Reddit, there's a video of Uncle Sam fighting Lady Liberty.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was great. So I never had like actual jobs where you had like a W-2 and like
Right.
possibilities until
Right. Achievement or pride in
yeah.
your work. Sure. Yeah.
So when I got this job at the grocery store, that was the most anxiety for a job I'd ever had.
Yeah.
So
it kind of reminds me of something I wind up talking with folks a lot about, and maybe not quite so much on this show, but just in life. I think as humans, we sometimes start to like compare traumas and go, I've been through more than you. He's been through more than me. It's just kind of like natural. But one thing that I've talked about, even with my girlfriend a lot, we go back and forth on this because she had such a different upbringing. But I go, what your biggest shit that happened to you that's difficult for you to process or overcome is the biggest shit that's happened to you. So it's like, it's kind of neck and neck with my biggest, just because mine is different or worse or scarier than yours. Your biggest thing is your biggest thing.
it doesn't make their trauma any less real to them.
Right.
Because trauma is perception.
Yeah.
Like I had a real bad childhood. I think me and you probably had about the close,
Pretty similar, I think.
about similar childhoods, so our traumas are different than a lot of other people's, but it doesn't make theirs any less real.
Right.
Because it's real to them.
Yeah.
It matters to them. We might see it and be like, that's fucking nothing,
Well, that's something that comes up with Haley a lot. And I mean, everybody has been through things. She's been through things in life, but she, on paper, has lived a very, I think maybe privileged would be a good word, not necessarily spoiled and not neglected, somewhere in the middle where she's like really never had to want for things like basic, food, shelter, water. Yeah. It was all covered. She has a very good, stable home life and stuff. So one of the things that she and I have talked about is just that. They're like, yes, her biggest stuff is her biggest stuff, but also things that maybe to me would be a molehill are mountains to Haley, just because she's never had to engage. I think things like navigating friendships or navigating employment and jobs and stuff, things that she is maybe a little behind on just because she wasn't subjugated to that as early as I was. And in many ways, I'm so envious of her for that. There's a lot of shit that I went through at 17 that she's just now experiencing that I'm like, I wish I was just now experiencing that shit.
If I could have a small freak out about like parent separation now, that'd be fantastic.
I was going through this a long time ago.
I've lived that, man. And
Right.
but at the same time, I've also been trying to work on not minimizing other people's trauma, because
very important.
That's a hard thing to understand. It's like, it's not as fucked up as yours, but that doesn't give you the right to denigrate their trauma.
Right.
Especially
like in my case where I'm in a romantic relationship with this person, it doesn't do me any good to belittle her feelings or anything, which I would love to tell you that I wasn't even guilty of that from the start. Maybe I was, but not intentionally, obviously. But I think as we've been together, because we're coming up on 3 years now, I think. So as we're coming up on that, it's like, I know this person and I know kind of what makes her tick, and I see the triggers, I see the tripwires and things, and kind of tracing that wire very carefully to find the root is kind of has become the default, as opposed to just kicking it and going, why is that wire even there? It's not a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? Like you learn and you grow.
Yeah. I had to learn that the hard way,
It's hard
because it's like you can't die on a hill of self-righteousness. Right. It just doesn't do you
I'm
any
also
favors.
just a shitty partner. Like, I'll just be honest.
Listen,
I mean, I'm a selfish partner is what I am, and not out of intention. I'm never thinking, it's all about me. In an effort to fix everything with us as a group, I'm always hyper focused on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, if I just fix everything about me, we'll get better. And I'm totally disregarding her at times, not all the time, but hopefully less and less. That's the goal.
I am also not the best partner because I don't take things as serious as I should.
Well, that's a part of it too. I mean, we're both comics. So most things that come out of our mouth are bullshit.
Yeah. Listen, if I'll talk the most shit to my wife, and it's never in malice. It's always just poking fun. Yeah. And I shouldn't poke as much fun as I do. Right. Because then she's like, sometimes it can hurt her feelings. And I don't realize it's like, I know it's a joke. Right. She also knows it's a joke, but somewhere deep down,
it's still hurting.
It's still fucking with her.
Maybe not the one time, but after I've got those two where it's like I'll catch myself doing it and go, yeah, you kind of joke about that a lot. Like to the point where it's not really a joke anymore. Yeah. I even have, and it's tough because there's like some code switching involved there too. Whereas like you and I are used to interacting with psychopaths, like other comic knuckleheads who I could literally say the most horrific shit to you.
Yeah.
And you would laugh and hit me back with the same,
Yeah.
you know what's going to cut me and that's what you're going to say. We're fucked up. But with, in a relationship, it's a little different, obviously. But I mean, I think like I've got a gig coming up tomorrow where I'm headlining this show in Raleigh, and I'm very excited, and I'm doing more time than I've done for the most part. I mean, I've done a couple spots like this, but I'm considering it a big step, big opportunity. And so I put together a list of all my jokes, all of them that I've ever written that semi work. And I've got it on this sheet of paper, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is a lot of shit. I got to organize, got to structure, figure out how it flows I'm doing 30 minutes. So
I was about to ask, are you doing 30?
Doing 30.
Because that's the big hill.
30's it's tough. 30's a beast. And I've done it before, but it was like, I'm booked for 20 and I had to run long, or I'm booked for 25 and I ran over, that kind of shit. As far as like setting out, I'm going to do 30 minutes. This is the first time for me. So that's where I'm at with it. And I sent it to Haley, and of course she's like, you're going to do great, all this shit, which is very supportive. I'm not trying to, again, it's very nice that that's her, but that's not really what I need as a comic.
You needed that actual criticism. You needed analytics.
So I send that same picture to one of our mutual connections that's a comic. And I said, crazy that this is 3.5 years of my life. Because that's how long I've been doing it. It's all in this back of an envelope, literally 3.5 years of shit. And they said, craziest part is half of that shit's terrible. And I was like, yeah, exactly.
And deep down they're right.
They're so right. Honestly, they're being generous. 3/4 is terrible. It's so bad. There's 2 greatest hits on
you could just tear off part of that envelope. Right. Like, there's my 3.5 years of my life.
All I need is the tab where it folds over. That's just 100%.
I feel that way too. Like I look at jokes, I'm like that sucks.
Yeah, but I respond to both. I think. I mean, I like the balance of having. Having someone who loves you and is supportive is wonderful. But I respond a lot more to the fuck around, like tough love approach. That's just I'm fucked up.
My wife will laugh at every joke that I've ever told at least once, and then afterwards, if it's not funny, she'll be like, "Yay!"
Right?
Yeah,
That's the other thing. Sometimes like running jokes by Haley and stuff. I think I pissed her off the other day actually, because I was kind of like, yeah, if I run a joke by you and you don't like it, I know it's gonna crush. Because she's so over my shit. It's 24 hours a day, and a lot of times she'll just give me this look of like, that is so dumb, but it's never ending when I'm with her. Everything is a pun. Everything is a joke. The amount of times that I say, actually one time in 2006, Dave Chappelle used to have this joke about blah, 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 blah. And she's like, who gives a fuck? Yeah. Why do you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, what's really funny. So you mentioned your wife coming to shows too. And I kind of want to flip this to you and ask, because Haley, prior to me, had never been to a live comedy show. And honestly, I'd have to check. I doubt she's ever seen a full special before getting with it. She just wasn't exposed to stand-up. So now, obviously, she comes to a lot of shows. She's basically my co-producer for Don't Tell. She's at them all the time. And this past weekend, we were in Nashville, and I took her to see Louie at the Ryman.
Oh.
Which was unbelievable. We had great seats. We got a surprise drop in from Jim Norton was the guest spot. Fucking unreal show. So good at the Ryman. And in leaving, we're talking in the car or on the walk back to the car about what did you think of this and that. And I was so fascinated by her perspective because she got to see that as a fan.
Yeah.
She did. Now, she maybe more than just the casual comedy fan, she kind of knows how the sausage works, and she sees me, building sets and stuff. So she gets it. But when your wife comes to shows, do you find that they almost watch it differently than we do?
Well, here's the thing is, my wife has been like an avid consumer of all media for all of her life.
Right.
Whether that be like horror movies or just movies in general, but also stand up. Like, when me and my wife got together, she already had like favorite comedians.
Oh,
wow.
Like
she knew who like Dave Attell was, right, and Cross.
Sure.
And she had already watched like Chappelle do his stuff.
Wow.
So for her, she already knew what stand-up was about, but then she watched me like write jokes.
Yeah.
And that was a little different. I think for her to see that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because she'd watch me like sweat over just words.
A word.
A word.
Take that word out. It's a totally different joke.
Yeah.
Right.
And
sometimes not even a word, just a pause, a moment. It's so intricate.
Listen, I used to write the ... dots in my jokes just so I knew where the pause was.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I do too. I have in my notes, I have different symbols kind of like, because I do it on my phone. So if I have an asterisk there, I know that means like take a breath or what. Like absolutely. Almost like stage notes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I used to write like stage directions in parentheses, like they do for scripts.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Just so I would know, like, oh, I need to walk this way for that.
Right. Now, let me ask you this too, because for anybody still listening, Michael was on my previous podcast show with Michael Rose, Talking Bits, and I'm sure that episode's still out there as far as I know, so you can go check that out. And kind of at the risk of repeating any of that information, walk me through the time period when you decide to do comedy, and then kind of between there and now, because you're several years in at this point, right?
Yeah.
2 plus maybe.
Yeah, I came in a little bit after you. Yeah. So
right, and I'm 3.5, I think. So
I'm roughly three. Yeah. So I always wanted to do comedy, but where I couldn't drive, I couldn't actually get to places.
That's right. I forgot you couldn't drive.
Yeah, I couldn't drive. My wife had to teach me how to drive. That's actually one of my best jokes.
What age did you get your license?
35.
Amazing.
Yeah, 35. That's amazing. I got my license. I'll be 38 this year.
That's awesome.
So
3 years driving.
Yeah.
You have the equivalent that most 19-year-olds
100%
of driving experience.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's weird to be, but here's the thing is I'm way more cautious because I have that age behind me.
Yeah.
But I do not wish it upon anybody.
Right.
Do not learn how to drive at 35. Learn at 16. Make your mistakes then.
Right.
You know.
Well, I mean, was there what was kind of the motivation behind not driving prior to that? Because I don't remember. Did you live in an area where? Because my friend Owen, shout out to my boy Owen, is the producer of Don't Tell DC, and he lives in metropolitan DC, so driving is not a necessity for him.
No, I got into legal trouble and couldn't get my license when I was a teenager, and then
you sold meth.
by the time, yeah,
that's a joke.
I was selling that early fentanyl. Yeah. No, I got in some trouble, couldn't get my license, and then I developed a fear of driving.
Sure.
And then
a very logical fear. Also.
Yeah. I was scared of hurting other people. I didn't care about me. I was worried about other people. And so it took me years to want to drive and have somebody who was willing to teach me.
Right.
Because
it's kind of a tough ask too.
It is. You'd be surprised at how many people are like, oh yeah, I'll teach you how to drive. And then you never hear a fucking peep from them ever again. They disappear from your life right after they say that.
Yeah.
You don't even see them at a cookout anymore. They are gone.
Right.
So it took years just to have somebody who was available to teach me how to drive.
That kind of speaks to her character too, as a partner of this is a skill that most people would assume you come into a relationship with this skill.
Yeah.
But the fact that she took the time to coach you or to help you learn that's beautiful.
It was amazing. It was one of those things that I was afraid it would never happen. And we got to talking about it, and I was like, I need this to be a thing because, what we both need to be equal on being able to do stuff for each other.
Right. What happens if something, God forbid, happens to her, and then you have to be there. You have to go. You're stuck.
Yeah. So
you can only Uber so much.
It was a matter of, I need to do this, not for us, but for me and also for us.
Yeah, sure.
And I couldn't get a good job because I had to be able to walk to work. And chances are, if you have to be able to walk to work, you're not walking to a good job.
It's a gas station.
It's a fucking gas station. Yeah. I worked at 2 different gas stations that I could walk to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
also, we don't live in an area where public transportation is as readily available.
Our public transit is dog shit at best.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
Right.
And I live in a smaller town than Bristol. So it's even worse.
Sure. Sure.
If you have to get somewhere, you better walk.
Right. Right.
So
yeah. Well, did you have any negative experiences with driving? Were you ever involved in a crash or anything like that? Or was just kind of this fear that developed?
Just overall fear of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the stats, that'll do it to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was always terrified. It's what if what,
Yeah.
like, you remember the PSA that they did where like the bouncing balls in the road,
Sure.
and then you see the car come by,
Yeah.
and you know the implication,
Right.
That was always playing in my head.
You're like, that's enough.
Yeah.
You really bought the hype on the
Oh
on
God,
those, yeah.
I did. I'm
Dude,
like,
I bet the DARE program shook you up.
oh no! They just told me what drugs to take.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
It had the opposite
DARE
effect.
was more like an infomercial for. You know,
That's true. They did ruin a generation.
there's a great little YouTube documentary on the DARE program and why it didn't work on
really?
purpose.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like it was designed to not work.
Interesting.
Yeah, I watched it recently.
Dude,
it
it kind of makes you think. Have you ever seen Walk Hard?
yeah, I love
The
Walk
Dewey
Hard.
Cox.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
the scene where he's like, it happens throughout the movie, but he's like, it's the cheapest drug money can buy. And he's like, I'll probably get a hangover. And he's like, there's no bad side effects.
There's no bad side effects.
Yeah, it's so funny. That like little bit that they run throughout that movie, that whole movie's great. But I mean,
dude, I
that
love
shit
that
is so
movie.
fun. I love what he's like, it'll probably ruin sex for me. And he goes, it makes sex
so
even
bad.
better. Yeah, he's like, it turns all your bad feelings into good feelings. I'll probably get addicted. It's non-habit for me.
I saw that movie and I'm like, man, I want to go do cocaine.
100%. That's what the DARE program did for kids.
yeah.
It's like, here's how cool drugs are. Now don't do them.
No, don't do 'em.
Here's a
Yeah.
pencil.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, write an essay on how you're not going to do drugs.
Right.
You know?
Remember the pencils, or at least we had them, that they would change colors with friction or whatever, where you, like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
rub it
yeah,
and
yeah,
change
yeah,
colors.
yeah, yeah.
A little provocative of a gift, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they give those out. Yeah.
Which
dude.
is wild because they also taught like abstinence,
right.
sex ed.
Was your sex ed program anything like, was it actually beneficial to you or did you even have any exposure to that?
No, we had a sex ed program. And
What school did you go to?
I went to Abingdon High.
Okay.
Yeah. And it did not teach safe sex. It taught abstinence only, of course, in the area that we're in.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Was
it like a semester long thing, or was it like a day or whatever?
It was a few weeks.
Yeah. We had,
like that.
when I was a freshman, I went to Tennessee High, and when I was a freshman, so 2014, well, let me back up. When I was in sixth grade, there was a day at the end of sixth grade, because you're about to graduate and go to middle school. There's a day where the sex ed teacher from the high school would come down. And it was honestly more, from my memory, it was more of like a hygiene talk than it was a sex talk. Like, I think she gave us a stick of deodorant to the boys and whatever for the girls, maybe tampons or something for the girls. It was more of a hygiene talk.
Yeah.
Then you get to the high school, and I remember we had a semester long wellness class that was like a mix of being in the gym and studying like caloric intake and protein and shit like that.
Our wellness didn't teach us that part of it.
We didn't learn, but they tried.
Yeah.
It was more of like, we had laptops, so it was like, click through this assignment or whatever the fuck.
Now, to be fair, I might have been asleep through all those classes.
Oh, I wish I was. I wish I was. The wellness was a waste of time. But there was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 days within that wellness class towards the end that were the sex ed days. And what they did is they combined the 2 freshman wellness classes in order to just knock it out in 3 days or whatever, which is already a fucking mistake. They put us in the chorus room with like the leveled step seating, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where the fucking band or the chorus sits. And I remember the only day of it I remember is they were like, okay, now we're going to describe some scenarios. And they give every student had a red card, a yellow card, and a green card. And they were like, if you need to proceed with caution, you hold up, yellow. If it's a stop, walk away, cool off situation, you hold up red. And if it's probably safe, it's innocent, you hold up green. But it's a room full of 14-year-old boys. So they would be like, I don't even remember. Well, we would do the opposite of what you should do. So if they were like, one of them was like, you're in your bedroom with the door closed, your parents are downstairs, and you start to kiss your partner or something. And all the guys would be like, green, that's fuck yeah, dude, green. And then there'd be one where it's like holding hands at church, and we'd hold up red and be like, like,
of course.
Yuck. I mean, it was the exact opposite. And the teacher's like, now boys, like
what did they fucking expect?
Right. But the sex ed teacher was a female coach.
Yeah.
So she's pissed off, but then behind her stands the 3 male coaches, and you could see them being like, yeah, like they knew that's not going to fucking work. And anyways, that's Tennessee sex education.
Yeah. That's about how it goes.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't good. Did you, other than sex ed and wellness, I mean, did you enjoy growing up in this area? Like, you don't, here's what's weird. If I found out in this interview that you grew up anywhere but here, I'd believe it. You don't give off like Southern Bible Belt energy.
I don't, and I didn't enjoy growing up here.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, you know, I enjoyed the people that I became friends with.
Sure.
And a lot of that carries over, but no, I would have preferred to grow up anywhere else.
Right.
But
Did you consider yourself kind of like a black sheep or like fish out of water type of deal?
Yeah. I'm still definitely a fish out of water when it comes.
Well,
to
you're a
this area.
comic, so
that'll
do it.
That tracks already. You know, I do stand up comedy and I do noise music, and
you're a dealer,
and I'm a dealer at the casino. Yeah. So I mean, there's not much more niche than that. Like the Venn diagram's getting pretty.
That's true.
Pretty slimmed down at that point, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I like I said, I love living here now because I realize that I like being in a quiet area when I'm away from work. Yeah. And I can just do my own thing. That's true. I'm not on top of anybody. I got a yard, which is big.
As an adult, I think it's a lot. There's more benefit to being in an area like we are as an adult.
Oh, 100%.
As opposed to being a kid.
Yeah. As a kid, I was like, I can't wait to fucking get out of here.
Right. There's nothing to do. Yeah. It's fucking boring. I mean, you weren't that far from us, so I'm sure it was similar. But like, I remember me and all my buddies literally just driving around. Yeah. That was what we did or go to fucking Walmart and jump in the ball pit, which, not gonna lie, a good time. A great time. I got a video I'll show you after my friend busting his ass on the floor. Oh yeah. He went straight through the balls, right to the floor. And all the balls shot out of the bungee cords it's still one of the best things I've ever been a part of.
And now he's a paraplegic.
Now he's a city police officer, actually.
So yeah, he's a paraplegic.
Yeah, I mean, he's a police officer at a certain city. Maybe let me write that down. Sorry.
Yeah, let's timestamp.
Sorry, let me cut that out. You know what's hilarious? He is like my most wild friend.
Oh yeah.
From being a kid and shit. So most of my wild stories are him. Yeah. About 4 times on this podcast, I've said he's a police officer, and then I've gone, hold on, let me write that down. Yeah. I've had to cut out where he works 6 times. I've also asked him to come on, so maybe he'll. Yeah.
That'd be good. You know,
we'll see. Yeah. Well, I was curious with him, like, what can you disclose? You know what I mean? Like and he was like, as long as I keep it pretty vague, I think I can.
That's like when me and you were talking about me coming on the podcast. I'm like, I know he's going to want to talk about the casino, and rightfully so. Yeah. And then I was like, I have to keep everything pretty vague, right? Like, because. I can't say the name of the casino.
You don't want to lose your job.
Even though everybody here knows what the name of it is.
Sure.
But I am not a spokesperson for the casino, therefore I cannot speak on their behalf.
Not at all. And we want that to be known, that none of this is a reflection of the local casino.
100%. Yeah. But
I'll cut that and put it at the start of the episode. That's a disclaimer.
That'll be the teaser.
Yeah. No, you're not. Yeah, you're not a big wig over there.
No.
But I mean, keeping it vague is fine because I feel like you have a lot of real interesting comments on it. Not only of being a dealer, but I think something about the stand-up brain makes us like over analytical and able to pick apart things, and especially to find abnormalities, find things that like my favorite way that I hear stand-up described sometimes is like, I'm seeing these things and nobody else is. So I'm telling you about it, which ironically is how I felt my entire life. And normally that comes from hypocrisy is a big one where it's like, am I the only one that sees that this is bullshit? Yeah. But once you start stand-up and you reach that age where you can do that, I think it allows you to reflect. It's, there's this is probably the 12th time I brought this up on this show, but do you know the term Heyoka? Are you familiar with that at all? So there's an old part of native culture called the Heyoka, and specifically in like the Great Plains tribe, like the Lakota Sioux Indians, there was a member of the tribe called the Heyoka, and the Heyoka it translates to sacred clown, roughly. And they were deemed as important, if not more, than the medicine man, the chief, the hunter. Like it was a top tier position. Yeah. And basically what they were was a stand-up, and that they would provide levity and humor in times of famine or in times of hardship or loss or battle, that their job was to turn a mirror on society and alleviate the pressure, and they were respected and regarded in a huge way and celebrated. So I kind of akin that to stand up, and I think I'm not the first person to make that parallel, but I kind of see that there. And I mean, do you think that having that ability to turn that mirror helps you in the entertainment side of being a dealer?
Yeah,
surely, right? Because you're reacting to things.
Yeah. You have to be able to, like you said, hold the mirror up to it, and I'm trying to think of how to word that. Really, it's just trying to make the best of a bad situation sometimes,
right?
And when life gives you lemons, that whole bullshit,
Sure.
When life gives you lemons, sometimes they're just fucking lemons, bud.
When life gives you lemons, sign a VEP or whatever the fuck.
Sign a VEP and go home.
Right.
Go home. But no, there definitely is times where I can see a situation and be able to reflect upon it, my own wit, or something to that akin. So
Well, I'm sure just being a stand-up in general correlates and probably helps. I mean, do you think that any dealers who maybe don't have, and not necessarily just stand up, but there's probably dealers who that's their first job or they don't have a background in customer service or anything? I mean, I could see that being a real hindrance to being a dealer.
If you don't have like a good rapport with customers, it is a hindrance. Right. Or if you've never dealt with the public in general,
exactly.
It's a huge hindrance to you, because you're now, not only did you have to learn how to deal the games you're dealing, which is a lot of regulatory stuff and a lot of just practicing your craft.
Right.
But then on top of that skill, you have to learn how to interact with the customers.
For sure.
Or how to diffuse a problem with the customers. Or how to just be present for the customer. Right. And make their enjoyment that much more better.
Yeah. Well, diffusion is a tough skill too. I mean, that's something like, kind of thinking back on my buddy that's a cop and stuff, that's something that requires a lot of training and hands-on experience. So I'm sure that plays a big role too. But stand-up kind of, or can be a way to kind of put a little pinprick in a balloon and let that, you learn those skills a little bit of deflation.
Oh, yeah. You get to learn tact from being a comedian.
Right.
Whether we use that tact properly or not is always.
Sure. Well, the big thing I thought about too is when I was at a teller at my previous job, one thing that they would say a lot is, I heard other coworkers comment on that, even though I didn't know what the fuck I was doing yet, because I was brand new, that the member there making the transaction never knew that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, because I think and I told them this too, the analogy I use is like, as a stand-up, I'm pretty clever with just dangling keys in front of your face while I'm figuring out what the fuck's going on. But those keys are words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You pretend to be interested in their day or talk about the fucking weather for the 40th time that day, whatever it is. Yeah. So those skills I'm sure translate.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Distraction a little bit.
Oh yeah. Like, if I'm on roulette and I have to take a minute to like figure out the payout, I'll definitely be talking up to the guest and like, oh, you give me a second, just and it's just from my brain to kick in and figure out what I'm supposed to be doing.
It's like autopilot and you're somewhere else. 100%.
Yeah. It's the same concept.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, man, now that you're wrapped up with your training on craps and stuff, and I'm assuming you kind of, I think before we clicked record, you're like, my life goes back to normal a little bit. Do you have any dates coming up or any shows that you're excited about?
I don't for a particular reason, because my life is not going back to normal at all. A few weeks ago, at the last show for the club, the anniversary,
the 4-year,
I announced something huge, and you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
Oh shit! Are we about to get a breaking news?
You're about to get a breaking news.
Lay it on me.
I'm going to be a dad.
No shit, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is fucking. I am so happy for you, man.
Yeah, it came to a shock to both of us.
Sure.
So my life is not going to go back to normal.
Oh no, not at all. It's changed forever.
No, my life is.
Fuck, dude, you should have told me that. We could have talked about that for an hour.
Oh no.
You know what? You got to come back on soon, dude. I want to hear all about it.
Listen, I have found the best way to word being a new father. Late in life.
An expecting father.
This late in my life. It's like you're going on a marvelous journey to a cliff.
Right.
So.
Because
Yeah, because then you get to the cliff and you're like,
Also, I mean, you're late in life, but you're not 70. You know what I mean?
No,
Al Pacino's still pushing out babies. Like,
Yeah,
he's
but he
fucking
ain't
90.
raising them. You know, he's
Well,
got,
that's true.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
A Jamaican woman
yeah,
is.
yeah,
100%. But no, I mean, you're going to be, God, dude, I'm so excited for you. So do you don't know gender or anything
Not yet.
Okay.
We just did the blood work to figure that out and to check for abnormalities, of course, you know, that type of stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Me and my wife, we're both excited, but we're also both terrified.
Sure.
And her more than me, because all I do is keep cracking jokes.
Right.
And
she's like, I need you to stop.
Just talking mad shit.
Sure.
Like she'll come in, she'll be like, God, I'm so sick. And I'm like, well, you know, you did that to yourself.
It's on you. Yeah.
She's just like, you can shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's going to be a long 9 months with this guy. Yeah.
Oh, listen, I'm all ready. And I'm like, I'm just going to make fun of the baby the whole time.
Sure. Well, do you have a hope for one gender or the other? Are you
no, we
open to whatever?
We have names for both.
Okay. Okay. It's Nathaniel, I'm assuming. Male or female. It's Nathaniel.
Yeah.
I'm honored. Thank you. Yeah. That's amazing, dude.
But
that's so exciting. I did not know that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that on the show.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you announced it at the Blue Ridge show too?
I did.
I bet they went wild.
Listen, I actually did something I've never done at the show, and that was I asked a comedian to stay just long enough for me to make the announcement.
Right.
Because our good friend Pruitt had already done his set, and he was about to head out, so he's saying bye. And I'm like, listen, I'm about to go on stage. I need you to stay.
That's awesome.
Just for my set.
Also, he's the one you want to hear that news. I bet did he cry? I mean,
dude, he gave me the biggest hug.
Oh, there's nothing better. Let me just tell you, folks, because Pruitt's been on the show. So if you're listening to this and you missed his episode, go watch it after this. There is nothing in the world that soothes my soul quite like a John Pruitt hug.
Oh, yeah,
it is like the best bowl of chicken noodle soup you've never had. It's a dad hug.
Yeah.
It's a dad hug. It's
so
the best.
I actually told him before I went on stage, because I'm like, listen, I'm going to make a big announcement.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you're going to leave now, I'm going to tell you now. So I told him, he gave me that big fucking hug that he gives. And he stayed for the set, of course, and I announced it to everybody.
Amazing.
And of course, I ended it with the hacky joke of, I got to go get milk and cigarettes, and walked off stage, you know, because you got it.
It's still a comedy show.
Yeah. And you got to throw in the hacky joke.
Yeah, we can't experience actual emotion without fucking it up on the tail end.
No.
100%. I try, see, you know what I'm saying. I try to explain this to my girl all the time, and let me tell you, she does not love it. I'm like, I can't profess my love for you without bookending it with like, you dumb bitch. Like that's just my I can't. I can't be raw.
That was the romantic name for my wife for a while. Is you bitch.
That's a good one.
And she still laughs at it.
It's a term of endearment.
Yeah. She knows. But I don't think any of us, as far as comedians, can take on any emotional gravitas, whether it be positive or negative, without slamming a joke in there.
Absolutely.
You know, if I'm sad about something, like when my dad died or my aunt died, either of those, I was making jokes the next day.
Yeah.
You know, had to.
Well, there is something too, and it kind of ties back into the Heyoka thing I was talking about, and I'll be brief with this, but I think part of that is it's kind of what's the word that annoying white ladies have adopted of like not empath, but it's like an archetype of a person. What is that word? You know what I'm talking about? There's like a Maybe it
is empath.
Maybe it is empath. It's like Heyoka is one of these archetypes of people. And basically what it infers in the Heyoka symbology is like that the levity that you bring is for those times of intense emotion. So like when you have a family member dying, it's not like you're standing over them like, haha, he's dying. That's not what it is. It's that your presence adds something to that room and that people know they can turn to you for levity and security. Now, what that does, at least in my case, is leaves the specific person, in my case me, with this empty kind of hollowness in that I'm not ever really experiencing the emotions that everyone else is. I am the dancing monkey trying to keep everyone, you know what I mean? You miss some stuff.
You do.
When you're that
here's
person.
The thing is, as comedians, we become more of a sounding board for people.
Yeah.
Like we listen to them.
Yeah.
Only so that we can find that moment where we can bring in the levity, you know. And it's not only for that reason, but for the most part, we're listening to hear hear how we can make that
Right.
better for them.
Well, you have to toggle back and forth, like switching that. Is it because if it after a show we're all in an alleyway, there's 5 of us standing around in a circle smoking. All we're doing is looking for an opening.
Yeah.
Every person,
Oh,
just to fuck with
100%.
you, to roast you, to
Yeah.
comment on what you said,
Yeah.
to one up, to run a new bit, to do.
Yeah.
It's mental haggling. Nobody's actually learning anything. But then when I leave that environment, drive straight home and sit down with my lovely girlfriend, it's hard sometimes to switch that part of your brain off and go, now I need to listen and respond and
100%.
internalize, not just look for avenues.
I have left a show where we're all standing around throwing bits.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we're trying to do a second show.
It's
just for us.
It's better than the show.
Oh yeah,
It's so much better than the show.
And then I get home and my wife's talking about something, and I immediately start going into bit mode.
Yeah.
And I have to catch myself
Yeah.
because I'm like, oh, I'm not actually having a conversation here. I'm performing again.
100%.
And that became an issue. And it's not a good or bad issue. It's just an issue.
It's an issue. Well, also after she's exposed to it for a while, or at least like in Haley's case, after they kind of see the swing of it, and it not only becomes predictable, it's easy for them to go, hey, cut it off.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're at my grandpa's funeral. I don't need you running bits right now. Stop it. You know, like that's an example that happened to me where I was in those intense situations when I don't know how to deal with it. Your default is, how do we bring levity here? And sometimes it's like totally just unorthodox or totally not disrespectful because you're not doing it intentionally, but it's just not appropriate for the environment.
I made the most distasteful jokes around celebrity deaths.
Sure.
That's always the thing. Like my wife would come in and tell me such and such died. Instantly had a joke that should not have been there.
Yeah.
You know,
it happens.
And it's because it's not that I don't want to experience the emotion.
You can't.
I can't. I'm not available to.
You're too fucked up.
I'm not available for that emotion at that exact moment.
Yeah.
Like later on, something will come out. Like when my dad died, that was a weird fucked up thing.
Sure.
And all I did was like joke and push it to the side.
Right.
And then like a few weeks later, I found something in the house and it just fucking broke.
Triggers.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And my wife was like, I've been waiting for this. I'm like, yeah, I bet you have. And I immediately go back into jokes, you know, because all of a sudden it's that reflection.
Bet you have, bitch.
It's now the mirror's pointed at me. The reflection. I'm not reflecting onto society. It's the other way around.
Well, that's kind of the hard part about being that turned mirror is that when one is turned to you, you see yourself for a moment, and it scares us.
Oh yeah,
because the thing about having that turned mirror is you're behind it. You're kind of hiding, a little bit, at least. And again, this is all very personal, but I also this show allows me to be a little more vulnerable and personal. So I have no shame in saying that there are times when I hide behind humor. It's not always generally it's a positive for those seeing the reflection, but for the one behind it, it's not always.
Well, listen, comedians are some of the most vulnerable people when it comes to we'll wear that stuff on our sleeve because we don't know where else to put it.
Sure.
You know, like
we also get to dress it up a little.
We do.
What I'm presenting to you is not accurate.
100%.
Not all the time. Sometimes
either it's not all accurate or it's not the entire story.
Right.
It's what I've carved out for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
So
sure.
Like I've been handed a ship marble and I've given you a statue.
100%. That's the skill.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Yeah. Okay, man. Let's wrap this up. So you don't have any shows coming up. You got a baby on board?
I do not. The last show I did was a noise show. I got a baby on board.
Yeah.
And
well, that'll take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Just for 18, 20 years. No big deal.
Better be 18.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out of my house.
They're out. Yeah.
God damn it.
Well, do you want to plug any socials? Is there anything you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Honestly,
you're just hanging out.
I'm just hanging out.
I appreciate that, honestly.
If you're still listening, listen to the previous ones. I know you had Dustin Aaron on the first one.
First one.
Right
out the gate.
I wanted to come on here and just start beef with Dustin Aaron, but
that's what we should start a feud.
There's no reason.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm game for it just because that means I get to have both of you on all the time so that we can keep that ruse going. I'll even title this episode "Fuck You, Dustin Aaron."
Fuck Dustin Aaron. Fuck him.
That's gonna be the
fucking alligator tooth having ass.
You wait till he comes on here. You're done for. You're done for. All right, man. Thank you so much.
You.
If you are still listening, please follow the podcast Mind Over Mike Pod on Instagram. Also, clips of this episode and all prior and future episodes are put through my personal TikTok. So that's at InBooer Comedy on TikTok and Instagram as well. So follow us there. Also, Don't Tell Tri-Cities. We got some cool shit coming up. We got a lot of fun comedy. So come out and support. But thank you so much for coming, Michael.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Bye.